up, Inkie peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and today I'm doing a little process video using some of the March printables. I'm working in this new journal. Not that I need new journals, but it's happening and it's here. My friend Zoe bought this beautiful magazine. It's called Lunch Lady, and it just has beautiful paper and illustrations and just really interesting pages in it, I guess you could say, and she thought it would be a fantastic idea to create a art journal out of, and I've done one page. I did this at a retreat, but now I'm going to try another page and see what we can come up with. And I flipped this one open before and it took my fancy, so I thought we'd go with this. And I've got my big pack. Hang on, my tripod's being a bit wobbly, so I'm going to see if I can fix that up a bit. Alright, I've done the best I can. It may wobble slightly. I think something's happened with the screws because it's representing the Leaning Tower of Pisa right now. But I've got my big container here that I keep magazine images in and stuff. So I did just rip that one out because I thought it might go nicely. And then I kind of need a focal image, and I don't want to cover up too much. So I'm hoping for something a little bit skinny, possibly. I've loved this picture for ages. I really want to use her for something. It could be her day, maybe. We'll see. You know what? I think it might be her time because, oh, but I do like this lady with the crazy pant legs. No, just go, oh. No, I think I'm going to do this one. Maybe I could do both of them. I'm wondering, I really like the glossy magazines. I don't actually buy too many glossy magazines. So I don't have a good stash of them yet. I have a few at the back here. So I was thinking it might be nice to juxtapose her with another person. But the trick is I don't want to take up too much more room. That's the problem. Oh, I might be able to use her. I like the similar colouring between them. Alright, let's stop looking and let's start making. Because that's what if I fall into the pit of looking at too many things, then things don't get made. And it just takes me way too long. So I'm just going to cut out this girl. I've used one of her, this girl is called iMakestagram on Instagram. She's an Aussie creative maker, and she's really well known for her tinsel outfits that she makes. I met her once at a spotlight thing, and she's a really nice girl, and she takes very quirky photos. If you love a bit of quirky art and you love dash hounds, you should follow her Instagram. Now I love this text, so I'm thinking of having her down there and maybe her there, and doing some sort of there needs to be something to break this up, because if I put her there she blends in too much, which is why I think she's better off over here. So I'm going to use some matte gel medium, and I'm not even going to gesso the page first. I'm just going to, oh hello hard brush, your bristles are very not soft. I find that it's quite often easier to put the matte gel medium on the actual page, just because sometimes it does start to curl on if you put it on the image. So sometimes this is a bit more handy. And then this paper, this is in Frankie magazine, and it's actually quite thick paper. If it's this thin paper, it's handy to have like an old gift card or an old credit card to use to smooth out any lumps and bumps. Alright, that's her. And then this little one can go over here like so. And if I was doing her whole image, I would bother to find something to smooth it out with, but I'm on a quick page today because I just want to, you know, when you just feel like jumping in and making and actually achieving something and making something. I'm in that kind of mood. Oh, sorry if you can hear the very noisy school bus outside. Okay. Just cutting those off now because otherwise I will forget. Pretty much it's that simple. Oh, still got a bit here. There we go. Alright, now let's see. Oh, I know what I can use. I had a subscriber, Becky. I got this in the mail today. She sent me some beautiful tissue paper. So it's almost too pretty to use. I think I will compromise by just using like the end bit, because that way it doesn't feel like I'm using too much. Alright, pop that out of the way so it doesn't get ruined. Ah, and I could use this too. That could be nice because I could write something on there, like a little quote. I think that one will work quite nicely. I also kind of wanted to show you, by not doing like a boy Archie layout, I wanted to show you a way that you can use the extra printables, well not extra, the collage sheet for this month, and use it for things that don't have a little boy on them. I am going to be using it though for some layouts for Archie, definitely, for my scrapbooking this month. And I did only just paint my nails just before this video, and so I'm accidentally getting pink nail polish everywhere, but that's just kind of standard Adele at this point. I seem to have red or pink streaks of nail polish just about on everything that I make these days, and sometimes it really annoys me, it ruins things, but other times I'm like, it's like my signature. Alright, so I'm going to stick this up here and just slap it on. Now the reason I use tape for that is because this paper, I printed it on thick cardstock, and so it may not behave as well as it should or as well as it could. I'm going to put a little bit of this black up here, just with some more matte gel medium. Now you can, gloss gel medium works as well for this kind of thing, but it leaves, as the name implies, glossy. So it's nice for like a top coat if you wanted to have your page with a glossy finish, but if you're looking to make your layers of collage blend in seamlessly, then definitely make sure that you get the matte version. I'm just going to put a little bit down here as well, and then I always like things in threes. This tissue paper rips really beautifully, really beautifully, and I do also kind of like to rip the straight lines away, if that kind of makes sense, so that it doesn't look as plonked down without a purpose. It looks like it's supposed to be there. That sounds silly, but do you know what I mean? Like I like the more organic kind of lines. I'm just going to put this part down here because I couldn't be bothered to throw it away. And then let's see, we can add a little bit more over here. There we go. Alright, so I've got a bit of tissue paper there. Now I think it's time to add some of these dots. And I think I'm going to focus on the dark blue ones. And I might even add some doodly borders before I stick it on, just because it'll be a bit easier. Plus I don't have to, yes, much easier than that. Plus I don't have to worry, actually no, I'm going to do a light one. Plus I don't have to worry about my pen running into some unfortunate amounts of wet matte gel medium, because knowing my luck, my pens like to they gravitate towards wet substances so that they run out a lot quicker. I guess it's kind of karma for using them when things are still wet on the page, but still, my pen should know better. They should avoid these things. Alright, I would like another one. How about this one? I want to see what other shapes I can find as well. I have some rectangles, but I think I'd really love maybe some squares, possibly. I'm going to cut this off. Took a little bit of page with it. Never throw out these little bits because you can always stick them somewhere. Alright, liking that so far. I don't think I'm going to add any more of those for now. I do really want to add this wild one, and I think it'll go really nicely there. Now keep in mind, I print my printables on a laser printer, which is waterproof. And if you do this with an inkjet printer and put matte gel medium over the top, I'm not quite sure things don't smudge. So be very careful with that one. I think I might also do this Be Original one. They just seem to go nicely together. And hey, look, she has freaking pom-pom things on her face. That's pretty original. She's definitely not following the crowd right there. And then I'm thinking that might be it, because there's 3 hits of that white with black doodly bits, and I think that's a good amount. Yeah, I think that's a good amount. All right, time to get painty. I think I need some painty details, but first I might just add just a tiny bit of, I really liked this basically just because it was blue text, and it's not something that you often see. I do have to make sure though, because quite often in Frankie they talk about not controversial but sensitive topics, and I don't want something that's inappropriate just plastered on the middle of my journal page, really. Oh, this one's talking about open relationships, I think. I'll put something over the top of that. And then maybe need something on this page. Maybe just a bit here. Because if I add some paint, it'll start to really blend in a little bit more. A little bit bit up here. There we go. So the idea is just to stick and go where your heart takes you. Some tips are I tend to stick to a colour palette. I try not to do too many colours. So here you can see I've kind of gone for pink, red, blues, purples, kind of that colour family. I better wash my brush so I don't get those stiff bristles again. And I've also put the lid on this so that it doesn't dry up. And then I'm going to grab my good old Dilutions paints because they're right next to me and they dry pretty quickly. And let's see what we can do. Now this is my go-to colour, Rose Quartz. It's, if you're girly, you love a bit of pink, it goes with everything. I also love Cherry Pie, that's another favourite. I get some white and no, I think I'm just going to go with those. Or the bubble gum. I do like a bit of bubble gum. It is different. It'll do a different look than the Cherry Pie because it's very bright. We'll see how we go with this one. We'll see. Alright, I'm just going to grab a thick paintbrush, and I do like to start with the palest colour just because I guess it's easier when you first start adding paint to a page. You kind of want to just slap it everywhere, and so if you've got a paler colour it's easier to cover up or add a different colour on top if you're not a fan of it. So I'm first going to start off with a little bit of white, and I think I'm going to try for this kind of composition like this. So this top half and this part down here, and then leave the middle pretty untouched. Now when I say pretty untouched, it will be touched but not too touched. I guess if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I'm going to add a bit of white, and I like to overlap it a bit onto the different elements just because I think it blends it together quite nicely. And I'm also going to put a bit up here because I'm going to put that pink straight over the top and kind of blend it in a little bit. And then see if you don't like that, you can add more. It's just much easier to start with the lightest colour. Oh, lots of beeping out front today. So it's almost the weekend. Who's excited? I am. What are we doing this weekend? We're going to our first birthday party. We've never been to we don't know anyone with like before we had Archie, we had a couple of friends that had older children, but ooh, hot pink. But our friends have only kind of started having babies now, and no one in our like we have two groups of main friends, and one group who were all of my bridesmaids. Oh, see, I'm adding too much now. Back away, Del, back away, and yet you keep adding. One of our groups of friends, none of them have babies, and the other group, there's one with baby and one who is due on Archie's birthday. So that will be funny if they are birthday twins. Not a huge fan of that. We need to fix that up. And you can just go back over it. But we've got another friend who's got a little girl who's got her first birthday on, so that will be exciting. But it's in Sydney, and I think it's in Western Sydney, and I think I looked it up and it's going to take 2.5 hours to get there. So I'm hoping Archie is on his absolute best behaviour, because we're going to be in the car for a little while. Now I've covered that all up, and I don't... Ooh, that's kind of cool to have it peeking through. This is only because I'm too lazy to go get paper towel. Alright, this I think needs some stenciling over the top. It needs something. And then let's see, I'm just not liking this part. It's a bit better. I'm just not sure. We'll make it work. We can do it. Alright, I'm going to put the paints away for now because I've done too much. And I'm also going to add, I feel like I need another hit of dark blue. There's not enough dark blue on there at the moment. So, my paints are so crusty around the, it's all over the place. It's on my painting. I need another dark blue. Let's go with this one. And I think because I've started the doodly circles on here, I kind of need to continue. I probably should have waited till that dried as well. Probably. Have we stuck 2 pages together? Oh no, it's just very thick. I keep forgetting how thick the paper is in here. Right. Leave that big there. Can I stick it here? Why, yes. Yes, I can. Alright, I'm going to blast this with the heat gun and then we'll be back and do some stenciling and details. Alright, we're all dry. So now it's time to add some stuff. Whoopsies. Just going to grab my food ball 1.5 because that writes really nicely. But I think I want to add some stenciling. So I've already got circles and hearts, so it might be nice to repeat. Not that I ever have any problem with putting circles or hearts or anything, but it might be nice to repeat those same patterns, because if I was to introduce another new pattern, it might be a bit too overwhelming. You never really know until you do it and then go, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But we will soon find out. Now I do really like this one, and it kind of matches the honeycomb, is that what you call it? That kind of thing with those fanned balls. So I might do that, and I think I'm going to use this pink. Now you might go, Adele, it's not going to show up. Well, that's kind of what I want. I don't want it to be too blah. I just want it to be a subtle piece in the background. So I'm going to grab my messy mat and my blending tool. So we can do that now. Pop that under there. And is that colour? No, it's dark one. I need a new thingamajiggy. Where are they? No, they're the ones I just pulled out before. Alright, they're under here. I never liked these when I saw other people using them, and it wasn't until I used them that I still didn't like them. But when I saw Diane Reevely demonstrating how to use them with the paints, it made a lot more sense. So the trick is, I know I've showed this before, but if you're starting with a new foam pad, put about that much paint on, spin it around, and then kind of turn it over, do the other side. Now you only have to put this much on if it's a new one. If you've already got paint on it, you only have to do this once, but if it's new, she says to do it twice, and that's all the paint you need. There's not, well, that's not a good finger to try, is it? If I touch that, there's barely anything coming off. You don't need too much paint. So I tend to go in rounds. Sorry if this shakes the camera a little bit. Oh, I like that. Alright, let's do a few more over here. And just make it really subtle, because I will probably outline them with either black or white. Probably white, actually. I might do one more down here. I really like that. One more over here. That's nice. Alright, can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see it a little bit. And then if you wanted to be more adventurous, you could try with a darker colour. But I think I'm going to leave it. I think I'll leave it. I am, however, going to grab my Use It Up journal, because I'm really trying to use it up and get this journal done. And I'm going to do a few over here. Let's see if this turns up or if it's too pink. Might be too pink. Oh no, that's nice. Put one here. I love using my Use It Up journal because it makes me feel like I'm completing 2 projects for the laziness of cleaning 1. Alright, there we go. Should I do another page? Should I try it? Maybe this one. This one's a bit of a crazy page. It's got lots of things happening to it. I'm just going to put a little bit more on, because I could feel it starting to drag a little bit. So even though you can't really see it very well on here, it still adds another layer to the background. You see it? Yeah, you can see it there. There you go. Alright, and this is basically dry, so I could close that, no problem. Don't have to worry about it sticking. So I'm going to leave those to clean up later. I will put the lid back on my paint. I always put the lid back on my paint straight away. I do feel like it needs something else though. Do I need some white? Maybe I need some white. I did just see something that contradicts everything that I just said before about adding another pattern, but it's a really small pattern. So this is a new stencil that I've got. I don't know where it's from though. Could be the Crafters Workshop brand, and I'm thinking that would be amazing in black. Now this is an extremely risky move. It could work or it could not. We shall soon find out. But adding black can really completely change a layout or a page. Before I do that though, Aaron got me this giant paint pen for my birthday. To give you an idea, this is the size I usually use, and so this is the top of the one that I usually use, and this is the top of this one. It's giant, and I haven't used it yet, but I was thinking it might be fun to just, oh boy, okay, I'm going to need to buy this in white and black ASAP, because that my friends is very fun and satisfying to do. It's the Liquitex paint marker if you're looking for it. Oops, a few wonky ones there. Oh, that is very enjoyable. I could see me doing a whole page just of that. Okay, so I've added a little bit of that. You can see we're building the background layers now. Before I add those little black stars, these dry. Oh, I just put my finger in that. It's alright. Cover it up with one there. One there. No one will ever know. I am going to That's very wet. I think I need to dry that because it's just going to keep smudging. I'll be back. Okay, I didn't dry it completely, but it's a lot better. And I'm just going to just very loosely trace with white, so it's very subtle around these bits. Is there one over here? Just to give them a little bit more attention and just kind of make them look a bit more done. I feel like sometimes if I was to leave it, it wouldn't look finished. I'm on a kick with the doodly borders. This is my doodly border time, and I just love putting them on everything. And sometimes when they're not there, I feel like something's missing, and until I put it on, it's not done. I'm just tracing around. I'm using my my Uniball Signo in the broad. I repurchased some of the Dilutions paint pens because I realize now that I completely used mine in the wrong way to get them started. They're not like normal paint pens, and I used them wrong and broke them straight away. So I'm going to give those another go at some point. But for now, let's give this a try. Now this, I'm telling you peeps, this could work or it couldn't. I need a new black actually, because this black is starting to get a little, that's too much black paint. Way too much. This black is starting to get a bit too cluggy. I may have too much black paint on this. Okay, I'm just going to pop this on and hope for the best. Okay, maybe if I don't talk it has more chance of working. Oh no, I moved it. Uh-oh. Can I line it up again? Okay, I managed to line it up. Well, that didn't start well, did it? And then I'm going to do some on her. There we go. Alright, you ready? Success or fail? Success! Look at that! It's smudgy where I accidentally moved it, but I love it. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit more down here. The trick is, peeps, not too much paint on. Oh, that looks so good. Welcome to my new favourite stencil. You'll probably see it in a lot of videos. Oh, this is a very nice stencil. This would look beautiful with that gold, that Inkie gold texture paste stuff that I have. Oh no, see, I went overboard. I got too excited and now I have a black smudge there. We can make that work somehow. And then it needs a little bit down here. And I'm kind of just turning it around so that it has different angles and it doesn't just look like the same piece over and over again. I love it! Alright, up here we just need a tiny one. Maybe this little bit here. I really love miniature stencils and miniature stickers. That is looking fun. Right, I'm going to clean this up and then I'll come back and we'll add some more bits and pieces to it. Okay, we're back and we're dry. I found this quote on Pinterest. It says, "Don't change so people will like you. Be yourself and the right people will love you." And I think that's a really nice quote to do. I am, before I do that, going to add a few little shapes just to the background here, because there's a few spots that just still need a little bit of attention. You know how I have trouble journaling and talking, apparently I also have trouble drawing shapes and talking. Alright, so just a couple here and there, and it also ties in with the doodly bit on this side. This page is quite crazy. It's a little busy, but you know, it's nice to sometimes do a bit of a chaotic page. Alright, I'm going to do this quote. I think here, oh, I could do it there. Actually, I might do the first part there and then the next part there. I think I'm going to fast forward this part though and put some music to it, just because you know I can't talk while I write. Alright, the quotes in there, it is very busy, but I often do these pages with quotes not so that the quote stands out, but just so that it's a bit of writing. I'm going to add some white splatters using just my old chalk texture, which is not a clean way to do splatters. If you don't want splatters on everything you own, don't do it this way. Come on. This one's drying up. But I think it's all done. Actually no, it needs some sort of I know what it needs. It needs some little gold hearts. I'm going to just grab them. Alright, we just needed a little, yeah, there we go. I think I just need a couple of hearts, whoops, here and there. And of course my page is buckling. The pages are thick, but they're not thick. So I probably will stick these two together just with double-sided tape once everything's all dry, because it does sometimes, the other page that I did started to curl over a little bit, and so I think it helps a little bit to have a bit of extra support. This stencil is so fun. I really want to do a galaxy background and do it with white or gold. If I just did it with white modeling paste on like this background, ooh, that'd be fun. Just getting excited about new projects. Finish one thing and then boom, I'm already thinking about the next one. Do we need a diddly border around the whole outside just to make it look like it's not falling off? Why not? This layout is so busy, it can't hurt to make it even busier. Like I said, I enjoy having pages that are a bit, you know, bright and chaotic, and then also having the pretty subtle ones as well. And the great thing about art journaling is that it's kind of not expected that everything looks the same in your journal. Not that you should ever place any expectations on what your journal should look like. It can look like anything you want it to, but I feel like there's a bit more freedom with art journaling than scrapbooking, as having one page like this and the next page could be completely different. So I'm all done, guys. Jazz fans. let's have a little close-up looky. It is pretty busy and messy and painty, but I really enjoyed it. She's got white paint on her nose, but we're just going with it. And we're just gonna go with it. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the March printables. Let me know in the comments what your favorite piece is this month. Even if it's just one of the little ones or one specific Project Life card, let me know what you like the most. And I'll see you guys really soon, probably with a wedding album flip next. I'm thinking that's the next thing. Alright guys, I'll see you then. Bye.